The establishment of the university was the realization of the vision of figures of West Java to found an institution of higher learning in the cosmopolitan city, to educate and set forth to society dedicated and qualified individuals. Today, UNPAD has broadened its wings to encompass various disciplines and multidisciplinary academic endeavors through the efforts of 16 faculties and 1 postgraduate school. To achieve its mission to build the capacity to adapt and innovate in the face of the rapid development of science and technology at the international level, UNPAD is determined to become the center of research and innovation for the good of the nation and the world by continuously nourishing research and developing technology to create innovations in various disciplines. Currently, 36,000 students are registered at UNPAD, and more than 200 international students are registered in different programs, degree and non-degree. As an effort to constantly improve the quality of education, Universitas Padjadjaran is supported by approximately 2,100 professional faculty members with reputable qualifications. To achieve the goals of its mission, UNPAD has also established notable research centers which demonstrate serious commitment to and focus on achievements in a number of strategic fields such as the Center for Sustainable Development Goal Studies, the Center for Environmental and Sustainability Sciences, the Academic Health System, the Center for the Digitalization and Development of Sundanese Culture, the Center for Innovation and Pharmaceutical Services, the Center for Nanotechnology and Graphene Research, to name a few. Equipped with a central science laboratory network and a science and technology complex in the Center for the Development of Science and Technology on the main campus, Universitas Padjadjaran has risen in its role as a leader in higher learning geared towards innovation. UNPAD also fosters collaboration with other institutions involving all stakeholders.
Universitas Padjadjaran commits in providing benefit and service for the good of humanity and the preservation of the environment. This is a great enterprise which cannot be done alone. UNPAD believes that in the spirit of collaboration, this vision may be achieved. We invite you who have the same vision, a good intention to care for human life and the environment all over the world, to work with us, build collaborations, create a better world together.
Universitas Padjadjaran grew out of the community and has made it its duty to give back not only in the form of the dissemination of knowledge and information, but also through socially responsible activities such as student fieldwork, community outreach programs, and action research seeking to make direct impact on the community. With its feet firmly grounded in the local communities and environment, UNPAD is also making great efforts to take steps towards internationalization. It offers special programs for international students to maintain its global network and make its strategic and reputable place on the world map of higher education. As a site for the personal development of young minds and bodies, UNPAD supports a wide variety of student activities. UNPAD also provides students with libraries with an extensive collection of books, periodicals, and study materials, comfortable dormitories, health and fitness services, free on-campus transportation, and other supporting facilities which UNPAD continuously upgrades and improves. being committed internationally recognized quality research, UNPAD maintains also its dedication in preserving traditional cultures as the compass for all of UNPAD's activities on and off campus. As of now, UNPAD have set forth unto society 200,000 graduates in various fields of work, including strategic government sectors and crucial multinational industries. Works for the good of society, bringing innovations and sincere contributions to humanity. Universitas Padjadjaran, the pride of West Java, working for the benefit of the global world.
Is there any more videos? Okay. Okay, let's start this session. Okay, committee, are you ready?
Yes, Erli, we are all ready. We are all set.
Yes, okay. Sorry for some technical issue, but good afternoon, everyone. It's 2 o'clock here in Indonesia, and then we have here Dr. Subodh Singh from GS Memorial Plastic Surgery Hospital in India. Hello, doctor. How are you?
Namaste. I'm good, and it's really a privilege to be associated with UNPAD academic mission.
Thank you, Professor, for your time. And then we also have here Dr. Akhtar Ali. Hi,
hi,
doctor.
how are you?
Good.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. It's a very nice day today. We sat here today together to discuss topics genetics in cleft that actually Dr. Singh already gave a very nice presentation, and we already posted in the massive open online course platform, and some of the students already saw your videos, but some of them are still in the process to reach that stage. And then we're here to discuss with the expert in live sessions with Dr. Singh, and also we have here Dr. Ali. Some of the participants already post their questions. They have curiosity about the cleft lip and palate, especially the genetic aspect. Here's the first question, Doctor, from Farah Shakira Reza from Universitas Padjadjaran.
So this is
Yeah.
Go ahead.
From all the mutated genes that can cause cleft lip and or palate, which one of them has the greatest impact? Please start.
Now, this is a very interesting question, because we always try to find one gene which can be causal for cleft lip and palate. And we all know there are more than 350 genes and loci that are responsible for causation of cleft lip and palate. But if we associate one, so then IRF6 is one of the genes that is associated with cleft. And then we also found that MTHFR gene is also associated. And I think Dr. Akhtar Ali can also add to this. Dr. Akhtar Ali, which gene, if you have to name one gene, which gene is most commonly associated?
So far, IRF6 gene is known as the most common gene among all type of cleft lip and palates. That is interferon regulatory factor 6 gene. And this gene is located on chromosome number 1 on the long arm. And initially it was found that it is involved in Van der Waals syndrome, but later it was also found to be involved in non-syndromic types of cleft lip and palate. And this gene has two main domains. So if there is a mutation in one domain, it causes Van der Waals syndrome or non-syndromic cleft lip and palate. And if there is a mutation in other domain, it causes entirely another kind of disease, and that is popliteal pterygium syndrome. So this gene has heterogeneity. And also there are so many other genes like MTHFR, MSX1, TBX22, which is actually X-linked gene, and PVRL1. So there are about 20 other important genes, and a total of hundreds of different genes and loci have been so far found to be associated with cleft lip and palate. So it is a complex disorder. Cleft lip and palate is actually involves not only one gene but many genes together with the effect of nutritional factors, other teratogens. That means gene environment interactions are involved to cause the cleft, and that's why it is very difficult to identify the exact cause. In different individuals, the cause is different. The cause may be different because of they have different combination of risk. So we are trying to, with Dr. Subodh sir, for a long time, we are trying to find out that combination, the gene mutation along with the nutrition and the teratogenic effect. What is that combination that cause cleft lip and palate? So we have published some reports from our region here from Dr. Subodh sir's hospital, Dr. Subodh's hospital, that if there is a mutation in MTHFR gene and another mutation in IRF6 gene, the combination makes very high risk. So now we can screen the population, and if there is a this combination is present in the women, in the mothers, in the expected mothers, so that can be decreased with the diet, because if there is a MTHFR mutation is there, its effect is because of deficiency on the diet. It's
Yes,
acting
yes.
on the folic acid pathway.
Right.
So
thank you, Dr. Akhtar. So as you can understand, I mean, because we may have many more questions to come. So as you can understand, right? So same gene may not be responsible in all the populations. So in different population, different genes may be responsible. So like in IRF6 gene, we did not find any mutation in the coding region, but while in hereditary the mutation was found. So different populations may have different sets of reasons for cleft. So they may be genetic as well as environmental. We had more of vitamin B12 deficiency, right? So that's the answer. So IRF6 gene is one of the most common genes, but there may be other genes responsible, and which Dr. Ali has already named, right? So we can go to the next question.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Singh and Dr. Ali. We still have more questions here. Committee, please can you present it? The next question from Hasna. Could the fulfilled maternal nutrition beat the possibility of OFC caused by gene factors?
Now, this is a clinician's dream, right? So when we started the research, I always said that I want to find one reason which can diminish the incidence of cleft or remove the incidence of cleft. But that's not easy to find, right? So, of course, as we have discussed in our presentation, right, there are various factors. So there may be some of the nutritional factors, some of the genetic aberrations, some environmental factors. They can together bring the cleft. But as an example, the deficiency of folic acid or vitamin B12, as we found in our population, B12 deficiency, or a mutation in MTHFR gene, right? So if the substrate is less or the enzyme is less, so the end product may be affected. So yes, so the nutritional supplement, a better nutrition theoretically should decrease the incidence of cleft. But just improving the nutrition cannot prevent all the incidence of cleft. So because there are other factors as well, which can independently give rise to cleft. So although nutritional factors play a very important role, but they are not alone responsible. But having said that, if we correct the pre-pregnancy nutrition of an expecting mother, then chances of cleft will definitely reduce to some extent. So there is an important role of nutrition. Dr. Ali, you want to add to it?
Yes, sir, absolutely right. So what you said is, I think they have understood. The students might have understood because you have explained in a very simple way. So go ahead, please. The next question.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Singh and Dr. Ali. We still have a few more questions. Please, committee. So from Raisa Lesmana from Universitas Pajajaran, a woman has been smoking for years. Could she quit to reduce the CLP risk in her baby? And how long before pregnancy should a woman quit smoking to prevent CLP in the babies?
Dr. Ali, would you like to take this question? What changes a smoking can bring just before or during the early pregnancy? How can this affect the genes?
Right. So actually, smoking itself is not only a risk for cleft, but also for many other things, many other disorders in the baby, developing baby. Also, it is risk to the individual who is smoking. So ideally, there should not be smoking. So at all. But if someone is smoking, she should quit at least 6 months before, so that the effect will go from the cells, because it damages the DNA. The smoke, the carbon particles that is produced goes inside the cell and damages the DNA. So if she quits just a few days before the start of pregnancy, then also the damage will remain for a long time. So it has to be corrected. So she should quit a few months before the start of the pregnancy.
So 6 months to give you a figure. So at least 6 months before she conceives, she should quit the smoking and also passive smoking.
Right.
Yes, indeed. So not only active smoking, also passive smoking. Sometimes people don't realize that it's dangerous as well.
Yeah.
In fact, passive smoking has more severe effect than active smoking, because the individual is not compatible with the smoking, so she has more effect on that.
That's right.
Yes, that's right. Next question, committee, please. From the studies you have included in the lecture, this gene leads to high HYC and it's great risk for non-syndromic CLP. What's the causes of this gene present in mothers? Could you explain more from Hasna, Universitas Pajajaran?
Yeah. So, Dr. Ali, I would like you to take this question first. The question is why there will be a mutation in MTHFR? Why should, and they have understood that the mutation in MTHFR will cause high concentration of homocysteine, and that can cause cleft. But they now want to understand why will there be a mutation in MTHFR? What can cause mutation in MTHFR?
So the mutations may happen anywhere in the genome. These are the random spontaneous processes which goes on during the evolution. And the mutation happen because when the cell divides during the development of a baby or during the formation of gametes, the sperm and ovum, the cell divides. So there is a replication of whole genome. So during replication, the polymerase that replicate the DNA causes some error. So it misincorporates the wrong nucleotide in the DNA, and that's what the reason for having a mutation. So it may happen anywhere in the genome, and if it is there in the MTHFR 677 position, then it is MTHFR 677C2T mutation. And also in the question, I think the student has asked that why there is an increase in homocysteine level. So, sir, would you like to answer or shall I?
No. They have probably understood that it will give rise to homocysteine level. But tell me or tell everybody, apart from the spontaneous mutation that can happen in any gene, right? Is there a causative factor which can specifically cause a mutation in MTHFR?
Right. So,
Or just
like what?
spontaneous?
Right, sir. So, like one reason I said that it is a natural error that occurs during the DNA, the cell division, and during the gametogenesis. But like X-rays, there are some teratogens. X-rays are also the potential factors that may cause mutation. And there are some teratogens during the pregnancy, like smoking. They also induce mutations. So one should avoid these known teratogens at least.
So the spontaneous mutations and mutations which is affected by other mutagens, right, or teratogens.
Right.
So they can all
Right.
cause mutation in MTHFR. And was there a question, supplementary question on an increase on homocysteine, or they have understood? Can you get back to that question?
Yes, please commentate the previous slide. The previous slide, please. The previous slide.
Yeah. So they have understood that it gives rise, because the folate cycle is self-explanatory, because MTHFR gene does not work well, so it is mutated. So the enzyme does not work well, and whole process is affected, and there is an increase in the homocysteine level, which is toxic to the cells. And we have already said that it is more toxic to males compared to the females, and it can cause cleft, right? So this question is answered. You can move ahead to the next question.
Next question, please, committee. Since nutrition is a very important aspect in CLP, what kind of diet do you usually prescribe for expecting mothers, and how long before expected pregnancy should the diet be started? From Arya Intan, Unpad.
So I would say at least 6 months before, because it takes about 6 months to correct any nutritional deficiency, unless you are giving a lot of nutritional supplement starting 3 months before. So a diet should be a balanced diet, and it should also include all the micronutrients. So diet has to be rich in energy and rich in proteins, and also in different kinds of lipids. So the fat, protein, and carbohydrate should make a good part of the diet, right? So it should also include fruits, and also if the mother is non-vegetarian, is good. So it should include fish, meat, as well as eggs. So a lot of salads and green vegetables. So all these should be taken, and specifically vitamin B9 and B12 supplement should be taken, because folate deficiency has already been implicated with the causation of cleft, and we in our population have found that vitamin B12 deficiency occurred, and the folate deficiency was not found in our population, while B12 deficiency was found, because folic acid is now being given as a supplement to all expecting mothers here in India. So that deficiency was not found, but a B12 deficiency was definitely found. And that also comes from not a lot of non-vegetarian sources. So a good balanced diet with the green vegetables, salads, sprouts, a lot of proteins, eggs, meat, and fish, all should be taken. And together with that, I would advise the expecting mother should take folic acid as well as B12 supplement.
Okay, Professor. So it's really important for the pregnancy planning here. Yeah. So at least maybe 6 months before the pregnancy, the mother should take the enough nutrients. Maybe we still have more question, or is there any question from the audience? Maybe.
Dr. Erli, maybe I can add one question.
Yes, please. Where's Shifa? Where are you, Shifa?
from the recent
Yeah.
discussions, we always talk about deficiency causing CLP, right? But is there anything that, like, if you excess on that vitamin or excess on that consumption would, other than smoking cigarettes, could cause CLP? Like, is there any vitamin that is dangerous? So not deficient, but excess. Thank you, doctor. That's my question.
Yeah, I'm not aware of if excess of any vitamins can cause cleft. So I've not come across any study where an excess of a vitamin or a food supplement can cause cleft. Dr. Akhtar, are you aware of some?
Yeah, actually, one generalized teratogen, which is a vitamin, like which is vitamin A, retinol. So vitamin A, if it is in excess, then it causes, in general, it causes birth defect. So it also, that birth defect also includes cleft ribbon palate. So vitamin A during pregnancy, before very start of the pregnancy, first trimester is very important. Should not be less, should not be high. It should be in the range. So because in low condition it is deficiency, and it is high condition it is teratogenic. Also, there are some drugs like benzodiazepam and some other there are many drugs, thalidomide. So they are also so these are not vitamins, but these are teratogens. These are drugs and acting as a teratogens for birth defects.
So the expectant mother should be aware of the vitamin A. It means should be in the right range, not deficiency, but also not in excessive consumption.
Right. Actually, I have seen that the gynecologists, they say to their patients, pregnant women, that don't eat liver, because liver has very high amount of vitamin A. So because of this only, to avoid excess of vitamin A.
Well noted, Dr. Ali. So any more question, committee? Or maybe from the audience? So actually, I have a question, Dr. Singh. You mentioned in your lecture that each gene can cause the defect on different side of the face, different aspect of the face. It means that the cleft itself can be caused by multiple genes, right, Doctor?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So, speaking to the future, I mean, what do you think we should do to tackle that, considering that multiple genes affect or cause the CLP?
Yeah.
What should
So
we do?
yeah, as I've mentioned in my talk, that for every feature of the face, there are some genes responsible, and the formation of face is brought about by various actions of the genes, right? So each gene has different actions, and they can express for a very fraction of a second from that point of time when they have to act, and rest of the life they can be inactive. So there are multiple genes which may be active just for the fraction of a second, although they are present in all the cells, but where they're expressing at that place, they may express for a short time and then they become dormant forever. So there are multiple genes. We still have to understand the real cascade of gene action that occurs and how they are regulated. Each gene is regulated by other genes, by some of the segments present in the gene that can regulate itself, and it can be affected by expression of other genes as well. So this is a complex formation of face, and we still do not understand every aspect, every step we do not understand. So we will have to understand not only genes, but also gene environment interaction, gene nutrition interaction, all these things. And slowly that understanding is developing. We are having a better understanding of these things. We now know what is the exact function of different genes. And if the gene is affected, like RFC gene is affected, then folic acid will not enter into the cell. Right? So if MTHFR gene is affected, then methylation will not occur properly. Right? So if the vitamin B12 as a cofactor is deficient, then methionine formation will not occur properly. So there are several steps, and there are several genes, cofactors. They can affect like a folic acid pathway, right? So, and they can bring about a different, a particular deficiency in the formation of the face, right? By affecting like a keratinization, dissolution of matrix metalloproteins, right? So there's so many things in it. So if we understand the real chain and step and cascade of gene action and how these genes are being regulated by itself and by other factors, then we will be able to modulate the action of these genes one day. So we might be able to identify the deficiencies in these genes. We might be able to screen the mothers for not only nutritional deficiencies, but also if we know the set of genes which are mainly responsible for cleft, we can screen out the expecting mothers and also fathers for those genes, and we will know what is deficient. For example, if MTHFR gene is affected, right? So its function may be partially affected. And if the substrate is also less, so the end product will become less. So if we provide the substrate in sufficient amount, so even with the deficiently functioning enzyme, the product will be in sufficient quantity. So each factor can modulate or affect the other factor. The nutritional factors can positively or negatively can affect the gene functions. Right, so we need to understand it further. What is the role and relation between these factors? And then hopefully one day we will be able to reduce the incidence of cleft.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Singh, Dr. Ali. I think we round out of questions, but before we end this session, maybe you have message, because we have here young generation students who are watching your lectures and this live discussion. Maybe you have message for them to study genetics in CLP. Please, Dr. Singh.
Yes, of course. And all the students must consider every case of cleft as a part of a study. It should be included in some of the studies. They should study that case. And they should also understand that the environment and nutrition all play a role. And you should find out what is the cause in your own population, because the population dynamics and the population genetic constitution and a particular population nutritional status, their feeding habits, they can all have an effect on the causation of cleft. So there may be multiple regions. Some causes may be more in one population, while other causes may be more in other populations. So you should study your own population from all the factors. So just finding one factor is not enough. So we have to study it in totality. And this is a very, very interesting subject. If we could find out some regions by which we can prevent the causation of cleft, the incidence of cleft, then that will be a great development and great research that they can do, and the great progress.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Singh and Dr. Ali, for your time and sharing your knowledge here today with our students, so that they can study and learn about genetics and its implication in cleft lip and palate. On behalf of Faculty of Dentistry Universitas Padjadjaran Indonesia, I would like to thank both of you, and maybe we can meet again in next event. And then please also share this event to your students. I will email the information to Dr. Singh, and then perhaps that's all from us. I'm sorry if there's any mistakes in this event. Thank you very much, and then goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Maybe you can visit us here maybe someday, very soon, hopefully, in Indonesia.
Certainly, I love that country. I will certainly come again. I've been there, I will
Oh,
come again. Yeah.
really? Yeah. Hopefully someday, very soon. Thank you
And
very much. Yes,
I would
Dr.
also
Ali?
like to say that our university is encouraging international students for
Oh.
studies. So if
Mm.
you convince some of your students to take admission in BHU or join for
Mm.
PhD, so we would be
Mm.
happy to collaborate and teach them. So because now government of India is encouraging international students.
Mm.
It would be good if
That-
submissions are coming from your country.
yes,
Dr.
that
Subodh
would be
is, yeah,
that would
Dr. Subodh
be
is,
grateful. Yes,
right.
Dr. Subodh?
Subodh sir,
Yeah, I
Subodh
think
sir
a
is,
good
yeah,
exchange program can be developed.
yeah,
So
Mm-hmm.
our students can visit each other's universities, and
yes,
Mm-hmm.
Government of India and Banaras Hindu University, which is really a very good research
right,
place and a huge university, which is encouraging foreign students to come. So we can
Mm.
certainly take some of the foreign students. They can even join PhD and other courses in India. So,
Mm-hmm.
and Akhtar and I will always be a help if any student wishes to join genetic study and especially genetic study in cleft. So we will definitely be a help. And for even other students who wish to do research in other fields, so they can come and join us.
So
Mm.
currently we have students from 38 countries in our
Oh,
university. And
yes.
I'm actually fortunately the warden of those students. So there are about 600 students from from various countries. So I
Mm.
think, but there is no student from Indonesia.
Yes, maybe in the future we will add some more
Yeah.
exchange students from Indonesia to your institution and perhaps
Yes.
from your institution to ours. So
Yeah,
there will
sure.
be a really great initiative to start with this massive open line course. Maybe
Yes.
we can collaborate more in the future. Thank you
Yes.
very much. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you,
Singh,
Ali.
Dr.
Thank you so much.
Ali.
And thank you all the participants.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Yes.
Subodh sir, for giving me opportunity to discuss here. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, the organization.
Thank you. So goodbye now.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.